The desert shimmered under a white sun, heat rising from the earth like breath from a furnace. Jesse McGraw rode slow, reins loose, dust curling behind his horse's hooves. The wind hummed through the canyons, carrying the faint scent of mesquite and death. He hadn't spoken a word in days. There was no one left to hear him. Then came the scream. Short, sharp, human. He spurred his horse, rifle drawn. The cry led him to a wagon torn open by violence. Arrows jutted from the wood, feathers trembling in the wind. A man slumped over the wheel, a woman sprawled nearby, her bonnet twisted with sand and blood. Jesse scanned the wreckage, throat dry. Something shifted under a blanket. A child. Apache. Barefoot and dust-streaked, clutching a turquoise necklace like a weapon. Her eyes blazed with fury instead of fear. When Jesse knelt, she spat at him, muttering words he couldn't understand but could feel all the same. Accusation, defiance, loss. He lowered his rifle. "Easy now, little one," he said, voice gravel-soft. She didn't move. The wind moaned through the broken wagon as though mourning the dead. He remembered another scream, another night. His own boy gone before sunrise. Jesse wrapped the girl in his weathered coat and lifted her onto his horse. She trembled but didn't fight. As they rode, the sky bled orange over the mesas. At camp, he built a small fire and offered her stew. She refused at first, then ate in silence. The night thickened, stars spilling across the sky. She began to hum, a low, haunting melody. It wrapped around him like smoke. He didn't know the words, but the tune tugged at something buried deep. When she fell asleep, he whispered, "Guess we both got ghosts to outrun." By dawn, fresh hoofprints circled their camp. The morning sun climbed red over the canyon rim as Jesse guided his horse along a narrow trail. The girl pressed against his chest beneath his duster. She hadn't spoken since the night before, but her small fingers clutched his shirt as though the world might vanish if she let go. Below them, the desert stretched, endless, silent, treacherous. Then came the sound he dreaded most, another set of hooves, distant but gaining. He urged the horse faster. Dust rose behind them like smoke from a gun barrel. An arrow hissed through the air and shattered against a rock. Jesse swore under his breath, swung down, and pulled the girl behind a sandstone ledge. Two riders appeared on the ridge, shadows in the glare, watching, waiting. His pulse thundered. He fired once, and the sound cracked through the canyon like a whip. The riders scattered, but their warning had been sent. Someone wanted that child back, or wanted him dead. They reached Dry Creek by dusk, both weary and coated in dust. The town was a cluster of weathered wood and suspicion. Jesse dismounted outside the trading post, lifting the girl down gently. She turned her face toward the crowd gathering, eyes wide, searching. A woman stepped forward from the shadows. Her bearing was proud, her gaze sharp enough to wound. "Tala," she whispered, voice breaking. The girl gasped, ran into her arms. Jesse froze, confusion swirling. The woman looked up, tears cutting through the dust. "She's my daughter." Relief struck him, followed by something colder, dread. The woman's eyes narrowed, recognizing his face. "You're Jesse McGraw," she said quietly. The man wanted in Yuma. Before he could speak, the saloon doors burst open and gunfire roared. He grabbed the child and dove for cover as the woman drew her pistol, her voice cutting through the chaos. "You brought your ghosts here, cowboy." Night fell heavy over the canyon, the air thick with gun smoke and rain. Jesse leaned against the rock wall, breath ragged, shoulder burning from the graze of a bullet. Across the small fire, the Apache woman, Naya, cleaned her pistol with steady hands. Tala slept beside her, wrapped in a blanket too large for her small frame. Thunder rolled, low and restless, as though the sky itself was hunting them. "You should have left me back there," Jesse muttered, watching the embers pulse. Naya didn't look up. "You saved my child. That makes you my burden until the debt's paid." Her tone carried neither warmth nor hostility, just truth. He gave a dry laugh that turned into a cough. "Debt's a mighty heavy thing to ride with." The firelight caught her face, softening the hard lines. "He died protecting his people," she said quietly. fingers brushing the turquoise beads at Tala's neck. Now I protect what's left. Footsteps echoed through the canyon, faint but closing. Jesse reached for his rifle, wincing. Naya's gaze flicked toward him, unreadable. Then she took his gun, checked the chamber, and pressed it back into his hands. You shoot straight, cowboy. I'll guide us home. The first muzzle flash split the darkness. Jesse returned fire, the recoil jarring through his injured arm. Rain poured, washing blood and dust into the earth. One by one, the bounty men fell silent, swallowed by the storm. When it ended, only the hiss of rain remained. At dawn, the world was new again. Naya knelt, binding his wound with a strip of her shawl. You came seeking escape, she said, meeting his eyes. But maybe you found purpose. Jesse looked toward the rising sun, gold spilling over the cliffs. Reckon purpose found me first.